everyone. How are you all? I hope so that everything is going well. And today we are going to start a new chapter, that is the Sultans of Delhi. I hope so that you have gone through the before two chapters very well. Now let's start the third chapter, which is a very important chapter for the forthcoming chapters 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay, so be very careful with this chapter. So you will be going to know in this chapter about the Delhi Sultans, and you will be also going to know about the Razia Sultan, who was Razia Sultan, and she was the first women ruler of the Delhi Sultanate, and about the chronicler also, as we have read in chapter 1 about the Minhaj-e-Siraj. I hope so that you remember it. Now in this chapter we will be studying the dynasties that ruled India, about the slave dynasty. Please remember the sequence first. The slave dynasty. In the slave dynasty, the Qutbuddin, Iltutmish, Razia Sultan, Ghiyasuddin Balban was there. In the Khilji dynasty, about the Khilji dynasty also. In this, the Khilji dynasty, Jalaluddin Khilji was the founder of the Khilji dynasty. We will be also studying in this chapter. We will also be studying about the Malik Kafur and other persons in this dynasty, right? So make a note down of this. Who was the founder of Alauddin Khilji? Who was the founder of Khilji dynasty, right? So Tughlaq dynasty. In this we will be studying Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and the invasion of Timur's Sayyid dynasty, Lodi dynasty, and their ruler Sikandar dynasty and Ibrahim Lodi. And after that, the Delhi Sultanate declined, and after that, the Mughals came. Okay, so be very careful with this. During the years 1206 to 1526 CE, a series of rulers who ascended the throne of Delhi remained with the supreme political authority in India. These rulers called themselves Sultans, and the Delhi was the capital city. And therefore, from the period of 1206 to 1526, make a note down, from 1206 to 1526 is considered as the period of Delhi Sultanate. I hope so you have got this. Now let's move on. As we know that beside the inscriptions, coins and monuments, there are numerous documentations in the form of histories that have been maintained. These records were known as Twarik, okay, the plural of Tahrik, and were written in Persian. The official language in the Delhi Sultanate, Tariq, was written by learned men that included poets, courtiers, secretaries and administrators. And many of the things were also mentioned in the Moroccan traveler accounts I have told you in chapter 1 also, that is Ibn Battuta. In the book of Ibn Battuta, in the travelogue of Ibn Battuta, everything has been mentioned about the Delhi Sultanate. And now we will begin from the slave dynasty. So let me tell you over here also that the famous Ibn Battuta, I have told you that Hasan Nizami, a migrant from the Shazanani, provides us information about the Qutbuddin Aibak. And there are many other books that I have told you about the Minhaj-e-Siraj. In his book Tabaqat-e-Nisari, he has described about the Delhi Sultans and all. Ziauddin Barani lived in the court of Muhammad Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq. He was there. He used to live there as ambassador, and he used to write everything over there. Okay, so let's begin with the slave dynasty. There were four rulers, main four rulers in this slave dynasty: Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Razia Sultan and Ghiyasuddin Balban. So you should know about these four. So you should be very careful while reading about this, and you should be very careful about everything. So let me tell you, Qutbuddin Aibak ruled from the year 1206 to 1210, okay, CE. So you must make a note down of it also. What was the year? And Qutbuddin Aibak was the founder of slave dynasty. He was a slave of Muhammad Ghori and had helped him in winning the second battle of Tarin in 1192 CE. He was appointed as by the Muhammad Ghori to look after his territory in India after the death of Ghori. He declared himself as Sultan in 1206. When the Muhammad Ghori died, he declared himself as he declared himself a Sultan, and he was also called Laksh Baksh because he was giver of lakh. He used to help the people, so he was called as Laksh Baksh. He also built a mosque called Quwwat-ul-Islam Mosque in the compound of Qutub Minar. You can see over the internet about that. He could not follow his policy of expansion. He ruled not only for 4 years and fell while riding a horse and died in 1210. Okay, so he became the king in 1206 and he ended his empire when he died by the horse riding. So he died over there. So let me show you about the Quwwat-ul-Islam Mosque. Where it was? See, this is the mosque. This is in the compound of Qutub Minar. Okay, when you will visit there, you can see over this about this. Okay, so next was Iltutmish. Iltutmish became the king. After this, about whom you must know about the Qutbuddin Aibak. So when I am telling you, so just recite it along with me. The Iltutmish was a son-in-law. Who is son-in-law? Who has married his daughter? Son-in-law of Qutbuddin Aibak. He faced many difficulties during his reign. To keep a check on the powers of nobles, he organized a team of 40 loyal slaves who kept him informed about the happenings. What he did? He made slaves. He made 40 slaves who kept him informed about the happenings in the kingdom. He was able to check about the Mongolian invasion from the northwest frontier, and with his diplomatic skills, he also followed an aggressive policy towards Rajput. He has that harsh actions toward the Rajputs he has taken. Who has taken? You should know about the Iltutmish. He also occupied the regions of Jalore, Ajmer, Sambhar, Gwalior, Malwa, Kannauj, Varanasi, and many other regions he occupied about that. Okay, so let me tell you about that also. That he divided his empire into the Iktas, small provinces. This is called small provinces. These nobles were headed the Iktas and also were known as Iqtidars and Muktis. He also introduced silver tanka and the copper jittals. He introduced the silver coins called tankas, and copper coins jittals. He was a skillful administrator, organizer, and a diplomat. He was a good administrator. He ruled from the year 1211 to 1236. So around 25 years he has ruled. Thus he has carried on the slave dynasty. Okay. So after that, after the death of Iltutmish, the daughter of Iltutmish was made the head. But the people were very reluctant about this. Raja Sultan should be made the state, because people were declining about that women is ruling them. So that is why it was a problem. So she could only rule for the 4 years from 1236 to 1240. Okay. So Raja Sultan was the first and last Muslim ruler to sit on the throne of Delhi. She was a daughter of Iltutmish, I told you. After that Iltutmish, his son Raskuddin was placed in the throne, but he was incompetent. He was very incompetent, and after that the Ghiyasuddin Balban was made, and after the Ghiyasuddin Balban, the Khilji dynasty came. Okay, so you must also know about it. About this, the Raja Sultan. Raja Sultan was successful to a certain extent in suppressing the revolts of the provincial governors, but she failed to manage the situation as was finally imprisoned. Then she took a bold step to win over the rebels. She married the leader Altunia. However, this did not resolve the problem. Both Razia and Altunia were captured by the rebels. And after that, and it was killed in 1240 CE. Okay. Now it was between. I also told you there is one ruler also in between, that is Nisaruddin Muhammad. Okay, he was the youngest son of Iltutmish. So it is not mentioned here, but let me tell you about him also. Nisaruddin Muhammad, the youngest son of Iltutmish, was made in the Sultanate. He took over the Sultanate in 1246 by the nobles. Nisaruddin was a weak ruler and dependent on the nobles. So during his 20 years reign, the power was concentrated in the hands of Chahal Ghani, its leader Ghiyasuddin Balban. After Nisaruddin's death, Balban became the Sultan. Okay, Ghiyasuddin Balban I am talking about. Ghiyasuddin Balban came in the 1266. Make a note of it. When the Ghiyasuddin Balban came, 1266 to 1286. Okay. Ghiyasuddin Balban was the most efficient rulers of the Delhi Sultanate. During his long rule, He established the power of nobility, ensured stability by suppressing the revolts of provincial governors, and undertook a through recognition of his army. One of the major challenges for the rulers of the Mamluk dynasty is slave dynasty, was the lack of royal image. From the royal lineage, Balban himself was a slave in the early life, and later he became a. And later, what he became? You should know about it. He became part of Chahalgani. To establish an unchallenged authority, he declared that the Sultan should be considered as the representative of the god of earth. Balban also introduced the Persian customs of Sijdah, kneeling and touching. It was a Sijdah and Paibos. There are two things, Sijdah and Paibos, as we do in the temple. Na? We sit on the knees. So it was just like that. Sijdah and Paibos, that focus on the that it pays a respect to the king. Okay, so he introduced two things, Sijdah and Paibos, and after that the Khilji dynasty came. Which dynasty? Khilji dynasty. There were two rulers, Jalaluddin Khilji and Alauddin Khilji. The slave dynasty collapsed with 4 years of death of Balban. The power struggle commenced amongst the others who had and the ambition to take over the throne. Jalaluddin Khilji was a commander of army under the grandson of Balban, took advantage of the situation and laid down the foundation of Khilji dynasty. I also told you the Jalaluddin Khilji was the founder of slave dynasty. He ascended the throne. Okay, so unfortunately he himself was 70 years of age when he captured Delhi, and he was soon murdered by his nephew Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji was his nephew and he killed the Jalaluddin Khilji. Now we will begin with the Alauddin Khilji. He was a great military commander and administrator. Alauddin Khilji was a great commander and the military leader. He was very well organized. First ruler of Delhi Sultanate to extend the empire of south of the Vindhyas, and the first time and competent administrative system. Some of the majors not only lasted throughout the span of Delhi Sultanate and influenced the ruler like Sher Shah Suri and Akbar. Soon after ascending the throne, Alauddin Khilji conquered the Gujarat in 1299 CE. By 1305 CE, he had annexed the territories of Ranthambore and Mewar and captured the important cities of others, Ujjain, Chanderi, Mandwa, and the conquest and the many other regions he conquered about that. So it is not mentioned here, but I am telling you, so be strict with this, that he also prohibited the sale of wine, restricted the social gatherings of nobles, and he also, that I have told you that he occupied the regions of Ujjain, Chanderi, Mandwa. After the conquest of Malwa, Khilji had control over the North India. So these were also the things what he had done. Regulation of prices of essential goods, controlling of sale of items. He has done many things. Alauddin Khilji was a successful ruler. Na? His work was well organized. Regulation of prices was regulation of the prices of the essential goods was very, very necessary. Now, Muhammad Tughlaq was succeeded in his cousin Firoz Shah Tughlaq, a peace-loving, benevolent ruler, from his suppressing nobles, ulemas, and whom the Tughlaq did not allow to interfere in the matter of state. Firoz Shah Tughlaq handed the larger iktas to the nobles and made the ikta system. And after the reforms, the administrative Delhi Sultanate was becoming weak. And after that, the Sayyid dynasty came. And after that, who came? Was the Sayyid dynasty? The Khizr Khan, Mubarak Shah, Muhammad Shah, and Alam Shah was there. Over the Timur, India returned to the empire and throne of Delhi was left in the hands of the deputy Khizr Khan. Khizr Khan established the Sayyid dynasty. This dynasty has 4 rulers: Mubarak Shah, Muhammad Shah, and Alam Shah. Be very careful with this. What were the names? The dynasty did not leave any significant mark in the history of Delhi. So it went off, and this is after Lodi dynasty came. Lodi dynasty was very powerful dynasty at that time. The Lodi dynasty had built many remarkable monuments in Delhi. When you will go to Delhi, just see about that Lodi Garden, Lodi Tomb, and many others. So that first ruler was Bahul Lodi, Sikandar Lodi, and Ibrahim Lodi. So we'll study about the Sikandar Lodi. Bahul Lodi, an Afghan, laid the foundation of the Lodi dynasty. He was succeeded by the Sikandar Lodi, who is regarded as the greatest king of the Lodi dynasty. Sikandar Lodi re-established his authority in the Jaunpur, Bihar, and also signed a treaty with non-aggression with the Sultans of Bengal. His area was extended to Punjab and the borders of Bengal. He was a great scholar and writing poems in Persian. And in the same dynasty, that was Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi was not a powerful ruler. He was defeated by the Mughals. So we'll be learning about this. Ibrahim Lodi was the son of Sikandar Lodi, succeeded his father in 1517. He became unpopular because of the nobles tried to replace some of the older nobles and punish some prominent ones. He had to face a lot of rebellion by the nobles. Revolts broke out in the many parts of the kingdom. Finally, Alam Khan, the Sultan's uncle, and Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, invited Babur. Firstly, they invited Babur, and after that, the Babur defeated them and took the power. So you could see that when they invited Ibrahim Lodi and his uncle Daulat Khan Lodi invited the Babur to see what's going on. And after the Babur saw that they were weak and incompetent rulers, so Babur defeated them and took over the Lodi dynasty. To invade India, the Battle of Panipat took place in 1526 CE. Ibrahim Lodi was killed and the Delhi Sultanate came to the end, and the era of Mughal rule commenced. What were the causes? It's an important topic. What are the causes of the decline? Lack of the rulers of the succession, powers of nobles was there, policies of arrogance was there, inconsistency was there, judicial and administrative was not proper, was not smooth, and the imposition of non-Muslims started during the society. So these were the things that declined. The end of the Sultanate brought about the change of the rulers' dynasty in the 400. The Mughal Empire was set off the Indian subcontinent, and you shall study them in the subsequent chapters. When the chapters will come in the chapter 4, you will be learning about that. So I'll see you in the next chapter. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a nice day.